For all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by whom we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit Himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and if fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with Him in order that we may also be glorified in Him. For context, Paul wrote this letter to Rome to accomplish a couple of things. In this divided community, his goal was to unify the church in Rome. He hoped that the Roman church could become a checkpoint for him to reach the masses in other areas in Europe. Because of all of this, Paul wrote with a full explanation of the gospel, the announcement of Jesus Christ's life, death, and resurrection. In one of the chapters inside chapter 5 to 8, it speaks briefly about his fulfillment God's promise to Israel. Since the target audience is not Israel, but the same target audience is basically you watching this video right now. His promise is that God turns you into a person you're not for His glory alone. When it comes to one of us tonight, there's numerous things that we want to change about ourselves. But the underlying solution is not through our strengths, but using the strength of God and the mindset of God on what He wanted us to achieve. This goes deeper inside Exodus and also Judges, mainly Exodus and Judges, because it talks about two different individuals, Moses and the other one, Gideon. It says in Exodus chapter 4, but Moses said to the Lord, "My Lord, I have never been able to speak. Well, not yesterday, not the day before, certainly not now, since you've been talking to your servant. I have a slow mouth and a thick tongue." Gideon, Judges chapter 6. But again, Gideon said to him, "With all due respect, my lord, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I'm the youngest in my household." The Lord replied, "Because I am with you." In these two different chapters, in these different books, they point to the same issue of blaming something that you cannot change. Your issue could be stuttering, outbursts, mental illness, age, repetitive sin, any issue you could think of in which God has completely different idea when it comes to you. When God was confronted by these two individuals, He responded, "Do not be afraid of anyone, for I'm with you and to rescue you." And this is the Lord's declaration. "I made the lame walk, the blind see." The very earth's creation, what makes you think I cannot use you to fulfill my own agenda? And this tonight, I can understand that you cannot relate to this message right now. You may live life right now as prosperity or peace, but when it comes to all these things, it feels like you cannot change. Your own self can never change. If you feel like every step you must, it feels like you're going 30 steps back. But the reality is that God has a promise that He's not going to leave you, and He will transform you into a person who has peace, tranquility, and a sound mind, and give you the very things that God needs you to have. Yes, the road is very difficult, but that is the point in the beauty of suffering. In order to receive His promise, His blessings, and anything that God has inclined to give you, we must suffer. And we must go through the oven in order to mold us into the exact mind that Christ wanted us to have. Because in this world, no one reads the Bible. Only way to see the true Jesus is how we conduct ourselves. We must be the bread ready to be baked inside the oven, shaping us to the person that we are not. And yes, this will take time. But no, with all things with the Lord, respond to Him, seek Him, for it says clearly that only nourishment we need is the bread alone. And with Him, seeking Him always, we are going to help the standard that God wants you to be.